And we are live. It is Frankly Football, your friendly neighborhood film watchers. I am your humble host, Brandon, and I got my man, Honey Graham, with me. Set it off, Chris. Man, Chris, it's been a while, what, 25 hours, man.
Yeah. First off, more than anything, man, Happy New Year to you and your family, and to
And
everybody that rocks
same to
with
yours,
us,
man.
man.
Same to
Happy New
yours, man.
Year into the 23.
Hmm.
Super excited about what this year will bring to us, and
Yeah.
we're on the precipice of ending another football season, but getting into that postseason, which we back to back participants in, man. It's a new day for us as Dallas Cowboy fans. So
Yes, sir.
super excited about that, but you know, comes at a somber note. Um, with my man Damar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills, um, having a super duper scary situation on Monday night, and after watching so much football this weekend, man, I was like, I was watching, TCU and Michigan, watching Georgia and Ohio State, and man, I was just having a grand old time, man. I was watching the Red Rifle do Red Rifle things, doing his thing, and to see that happen on Monday night was shocking. Um, I don't talk a lot about it, but if you know me, um, my kid plays football. Top 100 kid in the country. He is the number one wide receiver in the state of Virginia. And when that happened, I could not imagine my life, how I would feel, because I watched him get in a 7-on-7 tournament a couple years back, just run into a kid and fall out on the field.
Mm.
And you know, watching my kid lay out there sleep on the field, man, it just changed everything. I didn't really care about the heat or nothing else. I just wanted to make sure he was okay. And the crazy part about him, when he woke back up, the first thing he asked was, "Hey, did he make the catch?" I was like, "Bro, you was asleep.
Yeah,
You
that's
talking about
that's not
making
the
the
important thing, man.
What's the important thing, man? All that don't matter." So, I know with Demar and his family, um, I know they're probably just, they're concerned about him, and we as a football community, as a people who love the game, you know, a lot of the stuff that's happened this weekend, we kind of trudge through, um, because this young man is, trying to get his life back stable. Because at the end of the day, um, they enter, they play a game that entertains us, but at the end of the day, it's just a game. And just want to send nothing but prayer, prosperity, man, blessings, recovery, man, healing to that family, from us at Frankly Football, because and that's the most important thing right now. Just that he's healing and he's moving back into the right direction, just being able to be with his family.
Absolutely, man, and that's one of the things that I wanted to wait until we got on to kind of ask you because you know you are uh, in the position similar. Your son, like you said, is gifted with the physical gifts that the physical attributes that he has. How did
Right.
you feel seeing that?
Dude, it scared me. It went as just being a parent, man. I mean, I don't want nothing happen to nobody. I want a good, clean, hard fought game. But when I saw him lay out there and just the emotion, the raw emotion from all the players that was there, man, it humbled me to the point of saying, hey man, you know, this is just a gift and a talent. You do it for a season, man. I just wanted to be, I just started praying, really honestly. I started praying. I was just wanting him to, be healthy. I just wanted him to come through, man. I did not want to see that man lose his life
Yeah,
in that place, in that instance, away from everything. And I'm just glad that there was medical attention there. People were in the moment, but didn't let the moment overwhelm them. You
yeah,
know, I mean, see, when they started doing CPR, man, you got 4 minutes. Anybody's got their CPR card, man, 4 minutes without oxygen to your brain, man, and that could be it, man. So in the midst of all that, man, having the people being composed and doing what they need to be able to do to be able to take care of him, man, that's what I'm talking about. Those are the champions, man, that a lot of people don't give the respect and honor to. We love wide receivers, quarterbacks, running backs, man, but first responders, man, people who know how to do life saving tactics, man, are huge. Nurses, people who know how to do that kind of stuff, and that's huge, man. And so, um, I was just praying, man. I was just praying, because it was just so freaky. You saw it. He just, it
Yeah,
was just like a normal routine play, and then he just
yeah.
laid there,
He
and that's
stood
what I
up
was
and then
saying.
he fell back. It was
He fell
wild.
back, and I was like,
Fell back.
"Whoa!" And I said, "Okay, yeah, that was crazy, man." So, a lot of people were, made a lot. Some people, we ain't gonna say that dude's name. Were kind of heartless in the situation, man, and we've
Hmm.
heard from so many other different people about just that this young man is getting better, and at the end of the day, that's what's most important.
Yeah,
You know, that's what's most important. That he's getting better. He's getting back to, just and breathing on his own and be able to have cognitive, have cognitive, and be able to just understand what he's going through. So that's my most important thing right now.
absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man.
It the thing about CPR is when you're given CPR for what for they gave it for the better part of 8 minutes, 9 minutes. You're not giving CPR to 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 someone for that long, to someone who is with us. You know,
Right. Right. Yeah,
so
that's
they while we don't know, we can pray, and hope as far as what happens beyond that, and hope that the medical professionals, all of the doctors and the people who have his life in their hands do that. We know that on that field, the EMTs, the people who were on that ambulance on that field, they saved his life. They at least gave him a chance at that
right.
point in time.
Right.
You
Yeah, at
know.
that point in time, right.
Hmm.
And that's really all you can, man, you can ask, man. I mean, that's all you can ask is that they're gonna do the work to try to, help him get back. So I think, I saw one little breaking news. One of the guys said he was doing a little bit better.
Yeah.
The goal is to get him back, just like we said, B, just moving in the direction where he's cognizant of his own place where he's at in the world. He's able
Yeah.
to breathe and do things on his own, man. And
Yeah.
once he comes out of that, that's what will give me more relief, man. It
Absolutely.
doesn't take away from the fact of the matter we love this game, that we gonna talk about it, that we gonna cheer, man. But it just brings you back, um, like Eminem, it snaps back to reality. You know what I'm saying? That hey, it is still a game, and it's played
Yeah.
by young men, trying to fulfill their goals and dreams. So, I
Yeah.
just heard I just heard all day from, it was just hard. It was hard today, to focus on our beloved Dallas Cowboys on the playoff situation and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, man, we got work to do, man. So we're gonna try to, put out a good product for everybody, man, who's following us. But man, before you lay your head on the pillow tonight, man, kiss your loved ones, kiss them, man. Let them know you love them, man, and know that this thing called life is a flicker. And so let's just do the best we can with it. You feel me?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely,
Yeah,
bro. We
man.
we, we definitely praying for Hamlin and his family and those
Absolutely.
that love him.
Yep.
Um, but you know, we know that that game got postponed. We don't know, of course,
I
how
think
that.
it's just going. I think it's going to be canceled. I just heard. I was
Yeah.
checking it. Yeah, tuning with Mike Fisher. Mike Fisher said they're just going to move on. It's going to be hard, man. It's going to be hard for those two teams to get back on the field. It's going to be hard for everybody
Hmm.
to get back to work and doing what they're doing because um, they're big men that play a violent, physical game,
Hmm.
and they got to get back to work. And especially going into Week 18, where we're on it, and there's people still jockeying for position to do certain things into this postseason, even though this is a horrible thing to have happen.
So you think they'll
To
just
this
call it
young,
a tie?
I think they're just going to discard it. Just like, hey, um, you got this many wins. You got and just throw it away, man. I don't think they're gonna. You know, you just don't. You just want to. Honestly, I think they're just gonna move past it
Mm-hmm.
and be. They're just gonna be one game short. And for Cincinnati, I don't think I don't think it's a point of them being in a position and losing their playoff seeding.
Yeah.
Um, so I think for them, and it's just suspended, man. And like you said, their record, man, their record is what their record is, man.
Yeah.
They're 11-4. The Ravens are 10-6. Um, it could suck if you're a Ravens fan. Saying, hey, if they would have lost, it could have given us a chance to get a better seeding. But I think the humanistic side of the NFL is going to be like, hey, just do what you got to do and go forward from there. So I think they're just going to cancel, suspend it, and just move forward into week 18. Because there's no way you can get that week back. You see what I'm saying? Because you
Yeah.
can't say,
No.
hey, let's go ahead and play it now. And then you got 4 days later, you got to play another whole game.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just a tragic, series of events. And I think they're just going to move forward from that. But that being said, we kind of recap on Thursday. I think we talked back and forth about Thursday and
Mm-hmm.
how the Cowboys handled their business, and another football team decided that it was more about their running back than it was about the system because they can't seem to win without him. And
Yeah, man. That's interesting. It's interesting.
you know,
Very
I
interesting.
mean, I'm not, I just want to be clear because Micah had the same dilemma we had. Mike was like, I
Yeah.
don't know if it's the team, I don't know if it's Jalen, this one thing I do know. They can't beat Andy Dalton.
Yeah. There we go.
And
So
so they
it's
lost this week. Go ahead.
it's kind of interesting. People killed Micah, Chris. They killed Micah for raising that point, and now to see it come to possibly have some validity. Mm,
I mean, Micah just
mm.
said, oh no, he's doing good, but it might be the system, it might be loaded, and then they put half a dozen, he say, hey, and so when he made that statement, it gave the media a chance to make a whole bunch of uproar about, oh, he's disrespecting him. Hey, you've had 2 games. The
Yeah.
one thing about it is, and Vach, salute to our main man, Vach Lombardi, man, over the volume, man. He basically said, yo, it didn't make a difference if it was Jalen Hurts or Gardner Minshew. That defense is still getting bombed on. They
Yeah.
getting taken advantage of.
Mhm.
Now, even though Andy tried to give it away, man, shout out to John Lattimore, saying, hey, now we're not gonna get us back to you and getting that pick six and winning that thing for him. And so going from there. But it sets up what you wanted. You being in your, Brenda Damas's and saying, I want us to be, going forward with juices flowing into the playoffs. And you get an opportunity that you're gonna be able to be in the building and see our beloved Cowboys face off with the Washington Football Wizards, and
Mhm.
and have something to play for. So the question I have for you, my friend,
Mhm.
is who sits Sunday as we go with the opportunity. See, this was riding on the line. You get to go in
Mhm.
churning, going in the right direction. Last year when we were at this point, we were playing the Eagles, backups, not their third and fourth strings. We just playing. They said they sat everybody because they were trying to get healthy for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So now,
Ironically enough, they need to get healthy for the playoffs again. But you
hey,
know, but
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but, you know,
hey,
you know,
we just two guys, man, talking the game. So
I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy.
yeah, just a guy. So now you got to go into this week.
Mhm.
If you go play to win, as we always do, as Herman would say, we play to win the game.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity that if the Eagles do what they've been doing of lately, falling apart,
Mhm.
and if the San Francisco 49ers, who have won I think want to say 9 straight. They won nine. I think is that nine correct? 9 straight.
They've won enough. They've won enough
Yeah, they
straight.
won a lot. Okay, they won 9 straight. So
They've
they won
won
nine
more than
straight.
enough straight.
Yeah,
I think
nine
I think
straight.
it's been at least 5 straight. At least
Yeah,
five.
they won nine. I think I want to make sure it's I think it's 9 straight.
Mhm.
Them doing that, it sets up for a it sets for a situation, bro, where um yeah, they've won 9 straight. They won
Mhm.
9 straight games, and so now they're rolling in hot.
Mhm.
Um, and if they win this weekend, that'll be 10 straight. And if they win and the Eagles lose, then do what they do. You get the opportunity to go to the second seed. If the Eagles do what they're supposed to do, or do what they've been doing, we go to second seed. If they, turn fate and win a game, which I don't think it's going to be as easy for them because you're playing against another football team that's kind of peaking at the right time, man. I think
Yeah.
they're playing better football. Um, but we'll see what the Washington football Giants will do. So no easiness going into this thing. So my question to you, my friend,
Mhm.
how would you want it to play out?
Okay. So you asked a very layered question. So let me start by saying the people that I want to sit. That's what I'm going to attack first.
Yeah, let's go with that first.
The people that I want to sit. Um, we don't know. We don't know if Hankins, LVE, and who else was possibly going to be coming back healthy in time for the playoffs.
Jonathan Hankins, LVE, and Tyler Biotish.
And
Those
Tyler
are the three
Biadasz.
big. Those are the three
Okay, well
biggest question
we know
marks.
Piadish is not going to be back yet, so we
Okay,
can
so
count
all
him
right,
out. We can
all
count
right,
him out. Um, I'm not sure about Hankins and LVE just yet.
right.
Um, if they are, I want them to play. I want them to play, but I want them to play at the most a half.
Okay,
Um,
okay,
because they are returning from injury, regardless
okay.
of the result of the game. Regardless of the result of the game, I want them to
Hmm.
play at the most a half
Okay,
because
okay,
their health is the most important thing.
right.
For the run.
Okay.
Um, I want Micah to play. Uh, give me a quarter of Micah.
Hmm. Okay, you want Mikey to play a
And,
quarter?
yeah, but
Hmm.
because
Okay, come on, come on.
Micah had the hand in the
I
boxing
need, I
glove
need,
last week.
yeah. Okay, so,
Micah had the
all right,
hand in the boxing glove. So
all right.
this kind of is a testament to what I was saying last week. Last week was the week to sit Micah.
Okay,
Last week
okay,
was the week to sit Micah an entire game.
okay, all right.
Now, because you have a situation where you could possibly win the division and go up a seed to be the third, second, or maybe even first seed.
Mm-hmm.
Now you feel a little bit of pressure to play him some, but
Okay,
he didn't get any rest last week.
right,
So now
right.
you feel pressured to play him at least some, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
you don't have the luxury of sitting him at all. So you don't have the luxury of sitting him totally. Let me correct my wording.
Mm-hmm.
You have to play him some.
Okay.
Um, guys that I would sit totally. I'd feel comfortable sitting Tony Pollard totally
Mm.
or
Okay.
Zeke totally. You can choose one.
Mm.
Choose
Okay.
one.
Choose one. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Tony said last week. So if you want to give Zeke his turn, cool.
All right. Okay.
But I would once again give Malik Davis the lion's share of carries.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So on the offensive side of football, you're sitting. You're
Tony Pollard or
sitting
Zeke,
Tony Pollard or
and
Zeke.
that would probably be it.
Okay. Okay. That's offensive. Okay. So offensive side of the football. Um, I know this might sound blasphemous to anybody, man. This is my starting lineup, man.
What you got?
Cooper Rush, Malik
Okay.
Davis,
Mm.
Jalen Tolbert,
Mm.
Little
Mm.
Ty,
Ooh.
um, um, and Michael Gallup. I mean, just to get a little bit of burn. I don't know if Semi's gone for the year, but he may be. I'm to the point, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to get, and I said starting. Okay, that's the start
Yeah,
of my second half. I'm gonna start the game out with my guys.
yeah.
I'm gonna
And
start this.
notice I was talking about guys who I'd sit totally. But
Mm-hmm.
we haven't gotten to guys who I'm interested in pulling yet.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I want to go with Rain. I want to give Tony the opportunity to get 1,000 yards. Um, I want to get Zeke, 5 to 7. But I want Malik Davis to get the majority of the touches. Tony get to 1,000, 1,001, 1,002. Hey, come on over here, my guy. Have a seat. Okay. Um,
Hmm.
I give CD Lamb the opportunity, maybe a quarter and a half. After that, come over and have a seat, my man. Um, I want to get to the point where I can put this game away, and then I know Cooper Rush, because I've seen him do it before, he can bring it home. Does that make sense?
Yep. Now keep in mind, Tony
Okay.
Pollard only needs 12 rushing yards to hit 1,000. He
Okay.
only needs 12.
Okay. All right. Well, if he gets that in the first quarter, if he gets 15 in the first quarter, 20 in the first quarter, have a seat. I'll see you next week. You know.
Hmm.
Um, Zeke could go off. Get Zeke 15. Just get the juices flowing. Have him have a
Hmm.
seat. I'm bringing up a guy on the practice squad. When you were talking about on the defensive side with Hankins and LVE, I think the combination of Los Bohanna has been okay. It hasn't been as dominant
Hmm.
with Hankins, but I think it's been okay. So I'm going to give um, Mr. Hankins, Big J, I'm going to let him sit another week. I want him to be 100% healthy because I'm probably going to need him 25 to 35 defensive snaps in the playoffs, whomever I play.
Okay.
Okay. I'm still going to go with a heavy rotation of Big Bo with Osa, but I'm going to play Jonathan sparingly. I'm not going to give him, I really want to keep him at 35 snaps. And I still want that rotation with Bohanna because he's been playing. And I think the combination of Osa, Big Bo, and Carlos Watkins with the addition of Hankins really helps that in that situation. He was never supposed to come over here and be a 35, 40 snap guy. That was never the goal. The goal was to get him keep the middle clogged and be able to get us the forces, be able to get us the third down so we can pass rush. So I
Hmm.
think that's part of it. So I want to give him one more week. I want to give LVE one more week because I
I'm not
think
sure about that. I'm not sure about
huh?
that.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because the thing about it is, it's a neck issue. That doesn't stop him from being able to keep his cardio a certain kind of way. So I still think his cardio is fine. I just don't think they want him in contact like that as much. So and it's been about 4 weeks for LVE. Am I correct? 3, 4. Well, Jacksonville. It was
Mhm.
Jacksonville. So it's been 2 weeks. It's
Yeah.
going. It's going. It's going on. Yeah. Jackson.
This
Yeah. It's
this is
going. It's
going to
going
be
to a
the
third week.
third week.
Third week. Right. So when he gets back, that's a month away from the game. I think that's enough time for that stinger, whatever they're working with him, and I think he'll be fine. So one more week with LVE is good. Plus, it gives the opportunity for me to get Jabril Cox on the field, get more run with Damone Clark, and get those guys doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I wanted another week of them in the flow of the game and going from there. And I think the football wizards are gonna, they're gonna try to show up. They're gonna try to end strong and go from there. So I won't have OVE on the field. I won't have um, Jonathan Hankins on the field. I'm more concerned how if I can sit honestly. I want to sit J-Ron Curse. I
I
want to
can
sit J-Ron.
understand it.
Yeah, I mean, he's been getting dinged up along the way, and so
Hmm.
I think having a week where I can sit in,
And
get
rely on Donovan
get is
Wilson.
huh?
Would you rely on Donovan Wilson or who would you play in his place?
I think I bring Israel in. I bring.
Okay.
I would put Dono to slide down, but I would get Israel Mukwamo in. I'd let him get a little bit of burn at it. Um, I think he needs to kind of get those reps in because he may be need to be called upon in the postseason, you know. But J-Ron's been playing amazingly well. But I think I can get him a week where I can rest him, let him get down, sit down and rest his body, get some of the little nicks and bruises up taken care of, or give it just one more week before we have to go full tilt. I
Okay.
want to sit J-Ron. I want to sit him.
I agree with Curse. I'm
Okay.
not really sure about LVE.
Okay. Elaborate.
Um, Linebackers are some of those guys where I want to get them in and get them used to the scheme,
Mm-hmm.
And especially with LVE being one of those guys who's kind of like the captain commander of the defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's the situation that he's in. I need him to be ready.
Well, I don't think it's been to the point I said before. He's coming in. He's ready. He hurt his neck, so I don't think it's to the point that he's lost the ability to move around on the field or make plays. I think they just want to keep him out of contact. I think he's been there sitting there talking to Damone Clark on the sideline. I think he's been talking to Anthony Barr. I think getting an opportunity to see Brillo makes him get out there on the field and play a little bit against Tennessee. I'm just interested in seeing Jabril Cox on the field as much as possible. So if I can get a whole nother week with him running around in the floor of the defense, then if I gotta pull LVE just in case, I can see him being more reactive, proactive instead of reactive. Does that make sense? So that's what I want. Yeah. So that's the only reason I say give me another week. Doesn't hurt.
I need to see how many snaps Jabril Cox has played.
Okay.
And let's see. It looks like in Tennessee he played 28% of the defensive snaps, which is a thing, I guess. Besides that, he was like that. He didn't play any against Philly. He was like a 10% snap guy against like Jacksonville.
Okay.
So yeah, I could see situations where he would need to see more action against Washington.
Right.
So cool, but he's not going to be the guy that's seeing the field against whether it's Tampa or New York if we're the 3 seed. He's not going to be that guy. You understand where I'm coming from?
But see the thing about it, and you're right. I'm totally with you. God willing, you don't have to see him make a lot of snaps. But this is a neck we're dealing with. Like you've always said, it's a guy with a broken neck. Out there playing ball. So, I think this is the ramp up you need. We didn't get a long ramp up for Damone Clark. Hey, you're healthy. Get out in the Chicago game. Go get it. And he's been on the field steady. Like, what's been his percentage of snaps since he started playing since the Chicago game?
Are you talking about Clark?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I can check. I can definitely check, but it hasn't been necessarily high because he's been inactive in quite a few games as well.
Okay.
But I think that he's been one of those cases where they've been very prudent with his injuries as well.
Right. Because that's your guy. You was like, hey man, this guy got a bad back. So right. But I don't think they've been real. We're gonna take it easy with him. No, I think they've been having him play. I think he's still got the wheel spinning, but I think the more and more reps he gets, Damone has been showing that he can play at this level. I just think Jabril has the same ability. I just think with LVE going down, I thought he would get more burn. So how many we got?
I stand corrected. He played 65% of the snaps against Tennessee, 69% of the snaps against Philly, and 74% of the snaps against Jacksonville. So his snap count has been pretty high.
Yeah, so he's a guy. He's a guy inside the rotation. So now you're just trying to figure out, with him playing those many snaps, that leaves 25% for
his production hasn't necessarily been there at the same time.
Okay.
His highest amount of tackles was against Jacksonville at 9 tackles. He only had 4 tackles against Tennessee. Now he had a tackle for a loss against Tennessee.
Right.
But, besides that, he hasn't necessarily got it to the production hasn't matched the snap count yet. You
I
know,
don't. But see, I don't think. But I think losing Hankins is
of course,
a big issue with that.
I 100% agree.
So I think with the insertion of Hankins back into the lineup, I think you may see that be an uptick there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's what they're kind of say. Okay, hey, we want to make sure we have the guys in place, the Bohanners, the Hankins, and stuff like that to be able to take care of that space eating, so those guys can do what they do best, which is run and go tackle the football. I think Jabril Cox and Damone Clark are going to be huge assets going
Mm-hmm.
further into the postseason against some of these teams that we may end up meeting. So those guys I want to be able to see play a few more snaps against Washington and get some more production.
Okay. What about any of these guys at this cornerback position? You interested in seeing anybody maybe compete more for that corner 3 role? I mean corner 2
The-
role, or what are you interested in seeing now?
Um, we are where we're. It is what it is right now. I have been uh, the lone stance for Kelvin Joseph. I
Mm,
have come to the realization that when you get an opportunity to go make a play, you got to go make a play.
yeah.
And this young man is right now teetering on this being the biggest offseason of his life coming up. How he works and progresses and gets ready to step on the field might mean the difference between him getting a full third year or being relegated to just being a special teams guy or maybe not even being on this football team.
Yeah.
And that is huge. That's a huge situation to be in, because you're in that second round, that dreaded second round that the Cowboys have been swinging and missing, and just praying that he's not a miss. But it's going to be all on him, because the Cowboys are going to continue to go out and find guys to bring in. Because when your 5th round pick of this year is arguably should be on the ballot for Defensive Player of the Year, Dallas is letting you know we can go find players.
Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Defensive Rookie. Forgive me. I misspoke. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Dallas is like, hey, we want you here, but we ain't gonna wait on you.
Sure enough.
That's what they're not gonna do.
Sure and there's no reason to. When you draft as well as we do, there's no reason to. So at the moment,
yeah.
I think that while you may be interested in pulling guys like Trevon Diggs, you keep Nahshon Wright out there all game.
Yeah,
and
but
you let him get, if it comes to it, you let Jahan Dotson toast him.
I mean, you're gonna
let it happen.
Yeah, you put them all in the fire. I think you play Diggs for so long, and then you're gonna have to put.
If you get ahead far enough, you can feel comfortable pulling Diggs. But Nahshon Wright stay out there the whole game. It's usually what 70 offensive snaps in the game. Give or take.
Yeah, you're trying to get 7. Yeah, but if you get it far enough ahead, you're gonna change how you do certain things. I think you may see Kelvin Joseph. Hey, you might see Kelvin Joseph because you're gonna pull some guy. But I think Nahshon Wright's got to play.
Mm-hmm.
Deron Bland's got to play.
Yep.
Kelvin Joseph's gonna get some burn, even though most people don't want to see him on the field. I just want the young man to get more reps. I'm not. I have not relegated him to the asthma field as you have. I still hold out hope.
In this year, at this point in the season, we cannot afford to be courteous with him.
I think at this point in the season, for this game, for this week, I'm gonna probably need to give him some burn because I'm on the one sit Trayvon.
The burn that we got was he got burnt in the Jacksonville game. He got burnt in the Jacksonville game. We don't have any more burn. The toaster is unplugged.
I want him to get more reps, and try to build the young man's confidence. I'm
Yeah,
not because God forbid if anything happened, I'm going to have to put him on the field because I think
oh,
one of the couple other guys we've had, one of them, I think Alexander, he ended up tweaking something, so he wasn't 100%, and I just want to kind of get those guys on there. But yeah, he's a break glass. Everything has to happen. Everything's got to go left. I'm putting him back on the field
yep,
right now.
yep.
So that's where I'm at with him right now.
Now,
So we got the people who we want to sit on both sides.
mhm.
Um,
So, like I said before, that was a very layered question that you asked me.
yeah, give me some
But
more.
at this point, like 15 minutes ago. Now, seating scenarios.
Oh yeah,
Ideally, of course, we would like for the Cowboys to be the number one seed.
okay,
That would require for Dallas to win,
right,
Philadelphia to lose, and San
absolutely.
Francisco to lose.
Mm,
That we don't control our own destiny in that case. You understand where I'm
mm,
coming from?
okay.
Um, Now we can the most probable of the favorable scenarios
Okay.
is that Dallas becomes the third seed
Hmm.
in the favorable scenarios
Why would we be the third seed?
because Dallas could win and Philadelphia could lose.
Okay.
The Giants, although they've clinched the sixth seed.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Brian Dable does not seem like the coach that would pull players before the game,
Okay.
and Philadelphia is an already weakened team that has
Okay.
lost against a weaker Saints team and
Mm-hmm.
a Dallas team that we see, that they can be beat.
Okay. So.
So
Mm-hmm.
it is not impossible for those two teams to face each other and Philadelphia to come out the loser.
Okay. Okay.
So if those two things happen,
Mm-hmm.
Dallas would then be the third seed, meaning that they would play the Giants in the first round of the playoffs.
Okay.
Now, um, Minnesota would then have to uh, win in order to maintain the second seed, or if Minnesota
Mm-hmm.
loses once again, they would fall down to the three seed.
Right. So so if Philly loses, they would go to the fifth seed. If we win, if Philly loses and San Francisco loses, we become the ones. We become the two seed, right? We win the division and we become the two seed,
Yes, if
right?
Philly
Well,
loses,
if Philly loses and San Francisco loses, we become the one seed,
yes,
right? But if Philly loses and San Francisco wins, then we
at the
become
minimum the three seed.
the minimum the three seed, right? Because we're
Yes.
dealing with Minnesota. But
Yeah.
and so seeding wise, it makes sense. So here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go out and win, we play to win, and if we, like you said, we end up with the third seed, then we get to play. Uh, if
The
we
Giants.
third, we get to play the Giants. We get to play the Giants, which would be a good football game. All be a good football game.
Yes,
Um,
it would be a third divisional game.
yeah, third division game. It's hard to beat somebody three times.
Yeah,
It's hard to beat somebody three
absolutely.
times. But
Now,
okay, go ahead.
here's the thing. Uh, the the Giants, pardon me, the Vikings and the 49ers both have relatively easy games. The 49ers play the Cardinals. That's a
Okay,
divisional game, but the Cardinals are very hobbled.
okay,
Um, is Colt McCoy their quarterback at this point?
mm, oh,
They're on like their third quarterback at this point.
okay, all right.
And the Vikings play the Bears. That
Okay,
is also a divisional game. But the
that's
Bears
yeah, but that's
Bears have
yeah,
only
but
won
okay,
3 games this season.
okay. I got you. Okay, I got you.
So while those are two divisional games, it's not against opponents of significant value.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, but for that last playoff spot, that 7th spot, it's kind of interesting because you got two football teams that I don't think anybody really wants to play. They'll play
not us anyway. Not us.
Okay. So let's say let's look at where we're at.
Yes.
So that 7th playoff seed is set up for either the Lions or the Packers, right?
Or the Seahawks.
Or the Seahawks.
The Seahawks are not eliminated yet.
Right.
If
the
playoffs were to start today, the Seahawks
they're
would
in.
be the 7th seed.
Right. So the Seahawks, they have to play the Jets. That's gonna be a rock throwing contest. In that one. So if whoever comes out with that, I wouldn't have a problem if we were the 3rd seed if we had to play either one of those guys. But if you had to play Detroit or Green Bay, who would you want to play, buddy?
It's Detroit, no doubt. It's Detroit without a doubt. Because we've already beaten Detroit. We've already beaten Detroit with Cooper Rush. Wait, no. Was Cooper Rush in that game or was it Dak?
It was Rain.
Okay, it was Dak.
It was Rain play.
So we've already beaten Detroit quite handily, I might add. So
okay.
And the thing about it is that's not a divisional game. And one thing about Detroit is they are all gas, no brakes. They don't have any defense. And JoJo said, I don't care who we play, line them up. I don't feel that.
Yeah. Okay.
I do not subscribe to that belief system.
Okay.
I would like to avoid Green Bay personally.
Okay.
And I'll get to why in a moment.
Okay.
But the teams that we've beaten and we've shown that we can beat them, line them up. I want the path of least resistance. You know.
Okay. I mean, the Lions have played relatively well at home. They haven't traveled well. So, if I had to deal with them, if I had to deal with one or two, I would deal with Detroit because I would get an opportunity to play them back in our building, and I think we got an advantage of playing them in our building.
Yeah. We got an advantage of playing anybody at home. We've only lost one game at home this season.
Right. So I would take that at home. But we're gonna have to go on the road to go do what we have to go do. So so that's only a blessing if we get that to turn around our way, that we're a higher seed. But if we have to meet certain people along the road, you got to deal with the 4th and 5th seed. If you got to deal with Tom Brady, go to his building and beat him. That's definitely, I'm looking for that one. I want to get that payback. I want to go and exercise that demon. Because it's hard to beat somebody 3 times the way we have in the last 3. They beat us the first game of the season last year and this year. Give me an opportunity with everybody. Let's go get it. Let's get it on and let's make that happen. So I'm ready to fight them. But if you turn around in the next round of that and you got to deal with going to either I think you have to go to San Francisco, correct? The second round, you have to go to Philly.
All depends on who wins. All depends on who wins. You never know.
Okay.
Now, of course, San Fran is a tough team. They very well could beat whoever they play in the first round, but playoffs is a different animal. They very well can lose round 1.
They can lose.
But let's talk about these boogeymen.
The boogeymen. Let's deal with them.
Why are you so gung ho about possibly facing Tom Brady?
Because they haven't looked good. They're not a good football team right now. I understand Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. Is mythical. He's a unicorn. He's been for us. He's been Thanos. He has been able to click his fingers and making things as such. There you go. So, but I'm ready to be Tony Stark, man. I'm ready to take the Infinity Glove, man. I'm ready to put it on, man, and snap things back our direction. So I'm ready to play him and they have not been a really, really good. I mean, they had a great week last week against a very um feisty Carolina Panther football team,
Okay.
but that ain't us. So I'm ready to go play them with a healthy four, with him
Okay.
playing the way he's playing, and the complementary pieces have come along. You know, he's sure of so many different things, and I'm loving the fact that CD has emerged as being that guy. I love the fact that um, third down Ty is in the building. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I'm good with Ferguson being back and Hendershot being who he is and Dalton being who he is, and we complimentary a little bit more with Michael Gallup. So I'm ready to go with my full complement and go play Tampa in their building and
Mm-hmm.
get that one off our back. So if I can go this year and exercise the demon of Tom Brady, let it be as such. Let me go have an opportunity to get in a rock fight with the 49ers and let it be so I can exercise that. And I'll play Philly anywhere because, you know, they ain't shown me they could beat four. You know,
Absolutely.
they ain't shown me they can beat four. Man, JoJo, man, good to see you in the building with us, homie. Good to see you here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salute to you.
So that's
So
that's 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 how I feel.
here's my follow-up question to what you just said. Compare the two teams, Tampa and Dallas. At the beginning of the season, we lost handily, by the way. What was it, like 28-3 or something like
It was
that?
19. It was
19-3.
19-0, bro.
Oh,
19,
19-3?
yeah,
Oh man,
19-0.
Jesus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was
Compare the
terrible.
two teams from the beginning of the season, where
Right,
they dubbed us, for lack of a better word, to now.
right. I think the one thing that we wouldn't do, and I gotta give it all to Money Mike McCarthy, man, is saying, hey,
Mhm.
listen, let's use this two-headed monster, even three-headed monster that we have, to
Mhm.
help us get in places where we need to be in. And I think Rain having those 4 or 5 weeks to sit back and watch this thing, he is coming back with more command and control of this offense than I've ever seen him do in his career. He
Mhm.
he's he's him, man. He has got the ability when he's got, when we watch it from the TV version, you say, okay, he said, hey, let's go. Here we go. You know, he knows what he's looking at and he's checking into stuff he needs to check into it. And so I think um, with the use of Pollard the way they're using him,
Mhm.
them being able to stay competitive with the run and being able to do that, I think it gives Rand the ability to be the guy who he is. I don't think Tampa Bay's defense um, is as demonstrative as it was at the beginning of the season, and
Mhm.
I think we can take advantage of it in some places.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Um. Now, in certain areas, they they were hurt at the beginning of the season when they played us in certain
And,
areas.
yeah, and the O line, yeah,
Yeah, the offensive line, also on the defensive line. Vita Vea was a little hurt,
okay,
um, and Chris Godwin was a little hobbled as well.
okay,
Our, I can't call it because I am not a fan of the Buccaneers, but we
mm-hmm.
don't know the health of their team now that the season is coming to. And yeah, thank you, JoJo. And we had Dennis Houston playing. We were relying on Dennis Houston.
Joe,
Yo,
what?
yo,
Joe, you
yo,
ain't got Joe, you ain't got to
yo,
be like that, man.
yo.
Hey, man, Dennis
That's
is
a
a
good
good
point.
guy, man.
Yeah, look. I'm sure that he would give the shirt off of his back to somebody. But
Okay.
yo, how long ago was that we don't even remember relying on Dennis Houston for any stretch of time?
Okay.
That tells you how long ago this season seems like it has been. Isn't that wild?
Okay. I mean, that's a long, long time. I mean, Dennis Houston, is probably sitting right now saying, "Hey, I played on that football team. I
Mm-hmm.
won games with them." But I'm just looking at Tampa, man, and you know, I just haven't seen outside of last week, man.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that explosion that I'm so afraid of, them being. And I don't think we walk into that game lethargic.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think we walk into that game lethargic because the last time they had an explosion like that, they scored 23 points against the Bengals, and then they scored 30 on the Panthers. I'm just to the point like this with this offense, and I said this. I think I said this earlier. I said it to you when we were just talking. I haven't seen Reign score less than 27 points, man.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him score less than 27 points, and he just dropped 40 on a quote unquote top 5 defense.
Yeah.
So
allegedly.
Impressively he did it, man. Outside of the bad pass he made to Josh Sweat, he's been that guy. So I'm just going to say right now, my offense is ready to go into any situation and fight it out. My greatest concern is, can my back half play well enough to give my front half and my defensive lineman get back to that ferocious and tenacious type pass rush that I think we'll be able to get back to once we get Hankins back early enough, once LVE's back, to help us get to the position where we earn the right to pass rush.
How the world has changed.
Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't hate LVE. I just knew he was a replaceable player. Evidently, somebody's not showing it. I think he's safe. I think that's what Quinn loves about him. He's safe. He's going to be where he's supposed to be at. Whereas with Cox and Clark, I think they're still thinking about where they need to be at, and that's why they haven't gone away from Barr and LVE. I think next year, and being inside the system, you'll see more Clark. You're going to see more of Cox. And they may bring one.
I might still
I mean, they gonna draft somebody or pick up somebody late because they gonna hit that bargain bin. They gonna hit that Walmart bin for free agency.
Chris, I got a couple guys that I like, Chris. I got a couple guys that I like, Chris.
Stop it! We are not talking draft. We are not talking draft. It's too early to talk draft. I still got games to play. In my mind, okay? Yeah. I got 4 more games to play.
Okay.
I got 4 more games to play.
I understand. Yeah.
I'm trying to get to the sizzler.
Okay.
I'm trying to see you my ATM card so I can have somebody come get me out of jail. Okay? Because I'm slapping people.
So let's talk about the other boogeyman. Let's talk about the other
boogeyman.
In a potential 2-seed scenario, because that's the only situation where we would play Green Bay. How confident would you be playing the Packers in Dallas?
I don't fear a lot of things, man. Okay? I'm a kid born in New York, raised in North Carolina, man. I told many people many a day there was only 2 men I was afraid of in this world. And both of them last name was Lester, my father and my older brother. But Aaron Rodgers has crept on that list to be one of those guys that I do not count out. And I know if he has an opportunity to get the ball late, I haven't conquered him yet. And so I'm more afraid. And they're playing good football right now.
They are.
They're playing good football right now. And I don't know if I can knock them off. I was up by 14 with a quarter, and he came back and got me. So, I think if you want to, like I said, if you want to, you want to clean this house and make this house clean, you probably want to get an opportunity to get him. But my thing is, even though I might fear Aaron Rodgers a certain kind of way, Aaron Rodgers has a problem with the San Francisco 49ers. And they've had an opportunity to really beat up on him the last couple of years. So I don't think they revel him. They don't fear him as much as that. So, and like JoJo says, man, it's gonna be one of those things where that's a good point, JoJo. We do score 30 points at home. I'm just afraid, man, that Aaron can score 31. And so if I can avoid him, I'd
Mm-hmm.
rather avoid him than avoiding the 49ers. Because I'm not fearful of Brock Purdy. I think if we can get about 21 points on 14 to 21 points on San Francisco, I can beat them. I don't know if there's a lead that I can get away from Aaron Rodgers and feel safe if there's time on the clock, and that's just why I'm with him.
It's really inconvenient though. What's really inconvenient is that game, that winning in game, it also happens to be the Sunday night game.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I just think that Sunday night game is what it is, but I think they're going to play a different Detroit team that they don't. Both of those football teams right now, between the Lions and the Packers, they're both playing solid football,
Mm-hmm.
but Detroit hasn't played well away from home, and so this could be another step forward for that regime and Dan Campbell if they can go into Lambeau and play hard, play tough, and beat the Packers, because that's a football team that they believe in running the football. They gonna run it down your throat. So
Mm-hmm.
um, but if it's any kind of way that I can avoid not seeing him, I'll take my chances with Detroit if I had to play Detroit.
So, if it came down to it, would you rather be the 2 seed or the 5 seed? If it came down to those two options.
Um, well, it can't be the 2 seed. I have to be the 3 seed, right?
No, the 3, the 2, and the 1 are all options.
That's only if Minnesota loses, so I don't think Minnesota's going to lose.
Any given
But
Sunday.
Minnesota's kind of flaky anyway.
Any given Sunday.
Yeah. So if I had my choice of facing Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, or the Detroit Lions right now, who would I want to face right now?
Of course, it would be the Lions. Of course, it would be the Lions.
But see, the thing about it, well, coming to us, okay, the Lions would have to come to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd probably be the Lions. It'd be the Lions. I want to face him.
If hypothetically
Mm-hmm.
we were the 2 seed, we wouldn't know who we would be playing until that night.
That night.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's a lot, it's a lot of what ifs in it. But if I had to deal with those three teams that I may be looking at between Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., Aaron Rodgers, or the Detroit Lions, yeah, I'd want to go ahead and face Detroit. Then I'd want to face Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. And the last person I want to see is Aaron Rodgers.
I agree
in
with
that
you.
order.
I agree with you because one thing I've been saying ever since
okay, Space. Space said we can only be the one. Space said we can only be the one or the two.
I think. Oh wait.
We can only be the one or the two.
We can't be the 3.
We can only be Space. Space is my guru next to Professor O, and Space says the 1, the 2, or the 5. And so, like you said, that's who I want to get at. I'll give me the 2. I'm with you, Space. Give me the 2, and if in that order of who I want to see, the Lions, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady, and then Aaron Rodgers.
I'm with you, man. Ever since the schedule released, I told you, the Packers is a team I don't really want to see. I'm not quite sold on them. Space, I'm about to send you the link. I am not sold on fighting Aaron Rodgers the second time this season. He's shown that, and if you remember, the Packers they didn't really hit their stride until after the Dallas game. There was all sorts of pandemonium, discord.
Bedlam. Yeah,
Yeah,
Bedlam.
bedlam.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah,
go.
Bedlam. That's what it but the thing that goes back to, and I always said, you gotta get people out of your way. Because if you beat them that week, I think the whole thing falls apart. Them
Hmm.
beating you the way they did gave them life. And because you gave them life like that, I think that's why you're having to look at them now with a little bit of fear in your heart. Because, that's what they did. They turned around and they beat you, then they turned around. The problem is they would never go away. And they've been on a really good roll these last 4 weeks. One, one, two, three, four, five. Yeah, they've won 5 of their last 7.
Yeah, and,
They
and,
won
and
five of their last 7.
it doesn't feel good to be the catalyst of their success.
Well, the thing about it is
Because
that but the thing about it is, had you beat them, the next week they lost to the Titans, and then the week after that they lost to the Eagles. So you really could have been, you really could have been the, one of the pieces to
you could have
just
been
watching
lighting
the
their heart.
all.
You could have been lighting
Right,
their heart.
right, and then everybody else would have came and did what they did. I mean, let's be honest. That was the last game Tennessee won when they
Yeah,
beat them.
yeah,
You follow me? So had you beat them, and then Tennessee beat them, it'll probably all fall apart.
absolutely.
And you wouldn't even be having this conversation. You'd
Hmm.
just be getting ready to, go win this thing.
Absolutely. Um, and that's one of the reasons why, regardless of where they fall in the seating, it I feel the way about the Packers that most people feel about divisional games.
Mm,
The record doesn't matter. They play us
okay.
hard regardless. And in a lot of ways, Aaron Rodgers has the blueprint to defeating Dallas.
Oh, there you go, my
My
dude.
fellows.
What's up,
Come on, guys.
homie?
Oh,
How you
nothing
doing,
much.
man?
Man, I am doing great. The playoffs are upon us, and I'm ready for all the smoke.
There we
Yeah,
go, man.
I
There
know
we
you
go.
are, my friend. I know you are.
So one of the things that we got into space before you joined us is, are you interested in sitting any guys in this last week now that we have the potential to win the division?
No, you have the opportunity in front of you. You have to play. I understand that there are people that we had the bit of the health scare and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I'm going to just be real with you guys. If Philadelphia had won, yeah, I'm okay with resting guys. But if you have a chance to get the number 2 seed or the number 1 seed, you cannot tell me that you would not go for it.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't do that, guys. We what are we doing? Like, we don't do that. Let me move my. There we go. But it's just, I don't do that. If you have an opportunity to win the NFC East and really siphon momentum away from Philadelphia, who realistically some people have talked, are these a realistic rival for the Cowboys in the NFC? You got to do that, right? They're
Absolutely.
going through a funk. And here's the thing. And I touched up on my channel the other day, or even today, more specifically. The thing that's going good for the Cowboys this go around than last is we had that emotional win going into the postseason because of that Philadelphia win. Last year, that Arizona loss really made you like, I don't know. So I really, really, really like the Cowboys' chances this go around. And I understand, and I said this too, because I heard Chris talking about Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and stuff like that. The thing is that last year, I remember not saying Chris was saying this, but the conversation was, okay, if we have to go on the road to play Tom Brady again, we're going to beat him. We're going to do what we got to do there, right?
Right.
So at this point, what I like about this run is, listen, if you're going to go get that prize at the end of the tunnel, you have to go through you got to go through the dungeon. You have to go slay these dragons, right?
Right.
You can't afford, and I try to tell people all the time, the postseason is not easy. It ain't. So you have to go through these matchups because guess what? If you end up, and this is why I prefer the 2 seed. Let's say we don't know. You really have 3 possibilities. You got Seattle, Detroit, and Green Bay. Green Bay's easy because they're winning in. Seattle has to win against the Rams, and then they have to hope Green Bay loses, and the Lions, they have to hope that the Lions lose, and then they have a chance to get in. So we know who Dan Campbell is. He's going to play his guys regardless. We know that.
They're going to play hard. They're going to come and play hard.
So you mean so it's like you mean to tell me I got the mystery box, so I have a 1 in 3 chance, even though it's a little bit higher than that, to face Green Bay, or I'm going on the road against Tom Brady. By the way, I would prefer to play, this guy that's been bothering this franchise for so long at home, because Tom Brady and in his house is a lot different.
Yeah,
it's a lot different, and I think that's really big. And I don't think Dallas forgot what happened.
Not at all.
So I think that's something to keep in mind. And I definitely love what I see from this Cowboys team. They're being resilient, and they're scoring 30 a pop at home. And you mean to tell me I get at minimum 2 home games against possibly you would play the highest seed. So that would mean you got Minnesota, because Minnesota can only be the 3 at this point. And then I wouldn't have had to play the 49ers until the championship game.
Right.
It just makes sense.
If I can eliminate having that boss fight at the end, I'm good with it. I'd rather go and have that boss fight and have to go deal with them out there and go after that. But that would be so much must see TV, man, to go out there and have to play them in San Fran. That'd be beautiful, man. And go out there and beat those guys out there.
And the biggest thing is I'm going to share this really quickly. That's what I'm doing right now. I had a conversation, and I said this on a Twitter space with Knicks and stuff. I said the biggest thing for me was, my mother was telling me about when the Cowboys won their first championship. They had to prove themselves, right? No one thought that they were that team. You had a team like the 49ers. You had all these other teams in the conference that still, were those upper echelons. And yet the Cowboys weren't that team yet. So it's like they have the road in front of them. And I think that's the thing, is that eventually you're going to have to get over it. I understand the Packers are playing good football, but I had looked at the film, and realistically, they're not doing anything. They're winning games. I'm not trying to discredit them. At the end of the day, you got to win these games. But you lost to a Dolphins team that you were you won against the Dolphins team that was struggling after Tua got concussed.
Okay.
You beat the Bears and the Rams, which you should have.
Right.
And you beat a Vikings team that shot themselves in the foot so many times that their foot went low. No, man, I'm just I just don't understand how anybody could I'm not trying to say that I'm not afraid, because I know what Green Bay has done to us already, but they are not the same juggernaut they once were. The thing that got you there was that you allowed them to get big chunk plays on you.
Indeed.
If you eliminate those,
you beat them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you beat them. You're right. You beat them. You definitely beat them.
Well, one thing that I would say, I guess, is in our favor, playing Tampa compared to Green Bay, and we have when you break it down to percentages, we have the higher likelihood to play Tampa because all Philly has to do is not screw up, right? Jojo brought it out. We were relying on guys like Dennis Houston and Simi Fehoko as our main receiving threats in that game. We've kind of figured out our receiver room at this point in the season. CeeDee Lamb has arrived. Our tight end situation looks much more favorable right now. Tony Pollard is a guy, So I think that at this point where we stand right now, compared to late August or early September, our offensive threats are much more imposing.
Diverse.
Diverse.
They're diverse.
Scary,
yeah, more diversity.
Than they were at that point. Our defense is still what we expect for the most part. We just have to get guys healthy. Hankins has to come back. Hankins wasn't here before. LVE has to come back. Parsons hopefully has to get more healthy. Has to get the punching glove off his hand. So experienced. Thank you, JoJo. So I think that offensively, we are in much better position than we were week 1. Tampa Bay, I don't think, can say that. They know what they were. They're a team full of mostly veterans. They are what they thought they were. We just have to stop Tom Brady and Mike Evans for connecting for 270 yards and 3 touchdowns.
It depends on who we line up over top of them. But but I think Diggs loves going he was one of the first people he put on his island last year. So I think he's always up for the challenge of going against Trayvon Diggs. It's the Godwins, and it's the Ottmans in the tight end position. But I'm not as afraid of them. I think if we're able to stop the run, which we weren't able to do the first time we played them, but I think with the addition of Hankins, Bohanna being able to play more, with Carlos Watkins on the team, I think if you slow them down with the run, Tom's going to throw the football, but I don't think it'll be to the point that they're going to be able to score enough points against us, because we're going to put that 30 up. We're going to put that 30 up. We're going to put that 35 up on them, and I think that's going to help us out tremendously. So that's why. I just gotta go. Listen, man, I just gotta go in the backyard and get my lunch money. I gotta go punch folks in the face, man. I gotta get rid of some of these guys this year. I can't duck them forever. I can't wait for them to ride off into the sunset. They gonna walk out this postseason with a dotted eye messing with me this year, and that's how it's gotta be, man. Okay, you got me the first time. Guess what? I'm coming back for the second fight, and I'm getting this dub. So that's what I care about in this postseason. So I'm gonna have to face one, if not both, to get, man. I'm just trying to get the beach cruiser back, man. I'm tired of riding. I'm tired of walking around. Tired of Pops asking me for the daggum beach cruiser. Dadgummit.
Sometimes it's not about going through the toughest guys. The Bengals made it being the 4th seed last year. I think the Rams were also the 4th seed. So sometimes it's not about getting through the toughest guys. Sometimes it's finding the most opportunistic direction to the prize.
Right.
I mean, go ahead, Space.
Yeah, and like to compare from last year, right? With you look at the Rams. The Rams had to go through the Cardinals, who struggled late.
Yes.
They beat the crap out of them at home. Then they almost blew a lead late to Tampa, but they won that game. Right. Then they had to play a division rival in the 49ers, who, by the way, the 49ers were playing goddamn great football.
Yes.
To the point to where they're just a machine, and they nearly lost that game too if it wasn't for that dropped interception. But then they go to the Super Bowl. Then they're rolling in the Super Bowl, and then all of a sudden Cincinnati's trying to make it a game. And honestly, you could argue that they nearly lost that one too if things went certain ways. But again, that I understand things go a certain way, and then you go to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals win a close game against the Raiders. Okay, cool. They go on the road to the number 1 seed. Burrow gets sacked 9 times. But you know what? Tennessee made way too many mistakes. They threw a crucial interception. And that's why they lost, right? Then you go on the road. You had to face Kansas City, and that's a tough out. You're down 21 points. You come back, win in overtime. So you can see the routes. You saw it last year. From both squads that, hey, it's not easy, but if things show... Yeah, it's doable. Right. And I think that history shows that, historically speaking, you're more well-positioned as a 2 or 1 seed than, a 5th seed. And that's okay, but things are changing because of the new format. So, of course, historical data is not going to be as prevalent as before. Like, I did the research. It says that usually you want to be a 1 or a 2 and you're good. But the 3 seed's not really a good one. That's why I think Minnesota's actually going to go out early this postseason.
Yeah, right. And on top of, I think that they're frauds.
Oh, they've already. So that's kind of my big thing too. Is that when people want to talk about one team versus this team and that team, it's just context matters. Some people want to hype up Green Bay like they're this threat. Which, when you get there, anything can happen. But when you look at the road, some of these teams have gotten there. Like with Dallas, they've had to go through some teams. Yeah. They're 5-1 versus teams that are above 500. I think it's going to change to 5-3 if the Jags and the Packers go to 9-8. Mm-hmm. But that's impressive nonetheless. Like, you getting 5 wins versus winning teams, that's great. But nah, man, I think that anybody knows that if you have a chance to win the NFC East from the Eagles, that's demoralizing for them. And I think that's a very big emotional high for you because of you're not getting this handed to you. You're winning this thing. You win it late. And you got to play your guys. I don't want to. The only way you're resting is if you're up like 30 points. And like, you could be like.
I don't think you got to be 30 points up on Carson. I think if you're up by 21, I think you can get everybody out of there.
Yeah.
14, 21. I don't think Carson's going to be that magical. He can come back or something like that, or Cooper's going to put the game in harm's way if you're up by that many points.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like I said, I just think the defense clicks into another gear when they see Cooper on the field, knowing we got to go get this guy some help. When Ford's on the field, like, yo, man, Ford's going to handle it. He's going to take care of it, and we're going to go from there. So, I just want to get everybody a good lather. I want everybody to get a good sweat. I want us to come out of this thing healthy as possible. And I'm just, sending healing prayer and treatment oil to Tyler Biadasz so my center can get back in. We can kind of get a semblance of my offensive line back.
And that's the thing, guys, is that when you look at the previous Green Bay matchup, assuming we're playing them versus this matchup, and even with Tampa, completely different teams. Well, in the sense of Dallas, right? Okay, you're getting LVV is going to be healthy. Hankins is going to be healthy, which Hankins has been important to the run defense.
Absolutely.
And something that people don't realize, and you could talk about whatever you want about the Titans' run offense without Derrick Henry. The Cowboys have not allowed over 100 yards rushing in the past 2 games.
Okay.
So again, you could take it for what it is. I get it, but that's something to note. Also, you have Tyron Smith back. Mm-hmm. That's huge, and I think that you have a T.Y. Hilton now, who, by the way, that's what I think the Cowboys needed last year. They needed that shot in the arm to be like, all right, we need someone that can get us a deep threat, and especially when he lost Gallup, and I think that's going to be huge this postseason. I think we're going to see that happen in the game, regardless of who we play. It's going to be noticeable.
Yeah, I agree. And the one thing that we didn't really have last season compared to this season, throughout the majority of this season, there was always the pressure or the anxiety to address certain positions. Last season, cruising. So maybe there's a chip on the shoulder for the team. Who knows? But that will hopefully keep them grounded and focused and ready to win.
I just think they've gone through adversity. Yes. They've had to deal with, okay, we lost our starting quarterback for 4 or 5 games. We've dealt with that. We've had to deal with the offensive line flux. We've dealt with that. We've had to deal with so many different, the turnovers, but we've been able to deal with that. They've been able to ride the ebbs and flows. So here's my biggest thing. If I can get that ferocious defense for 4 games that I had at the beginning of the year and couple it with this offense, I'm just being honest with you, man. Ain't nobody beating us. If I can get that defense from game 2 to game 5, game 6, to couple with this 30-point offense, hey man, I'll when I see that happen. We're going to this. I don't think there's anybody that can beat us if you have that. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you got that kind of pass rush and you're getting that kind of pass rush and you're getting range short fields, who's beating us? Go ahead.
We could be thankful that not every team going into the postseason has an opposing run attack. Yes, there are some guys at the top like San Francisco, Minnesota, Philly. But besides that, then you go down to Tampa. They've been struggling lately. New York has been struggling lately. Saquon has kind of there may be some like injury or fatigue concerns there, but then the 7th seed, whoever that may be, we don't know yet, so you can't really speak on it. So not like if you compare it to like the last month of the season, Dallas faced a lot of very powerful run attacks, with the exception of Tennessee, because Henry sat out. That prepared us for what we may potentially be facing now.
You battle tested now. Battle tested. So I just think you're ready, man. This was what we were talking about. Space. This I think we were talking about weeks ago. Getting through that 3-game gauntlet. When we were looking at okay, we got to deal with the Giants. They're gonna run the football. We got to deal with Indianapolis with Jonathan Taylor. We were worried about Jonathan Taylor. We were worried about Dameon Pierce with the Texans. Okay, we got through that. and then we turned around and we played Jacksonville, who was better than what their record says, and right now they're trying to prove to be a playoff team. So I just think you've been playing playoff football for the last 6 weeks.
You have. And I think the other thing of this too is that I like to compare from last year, because remember, a lot of people forget we're in year 3, surprisingly, of this Mike McCarthy experience. And so far, he's done something that no coach other than Barry Switzer and Jimmy Johnson and great late Tom Landry winning 12 wins or more in a season back-to-back. That's something that no other coach between Switzer and McCarthy has done. And some people might say, oh, well, that's whatever, blah, 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 blah. The thing is that coaching matters. We're another year removed.
Oh, that's right, baby. That's right.
So we're another year removed from that Garrett experience. And while we get annoyed with sometimes how Quinn does things, and I know Kellen can piss us off, one thing I will get the Cowboys this, though. They are finding ways to pull games out of their ass when I would not think they would win a game. Whether when we lost Dak Prescott, whether when we lost our left tackle, now right tackle, we're going, we are finding ways to win football games. And they're doing it in a way to where some of it's like a dominating win, and others they're just like, 3rd and 30, F it, I'm just going to throw it down. Like, it's something that's, like, I don't know. And that's the big thing, and I thank JoJo for bringing that up. Your quarterback's playing the best. I don't give a damn about the interceptions. I understand people. I'm not trying to make it seem like it doesn't matter. But your quarterback is finding ways to put drives together for you to win games, right? And I think that you don't see his confidence wavering. It's not like last year where it's like, okay, you know what? Like, I don't know what to do here. Or like that calf is bothering him. He's fully healthy. He's good to go. So like to the crowd that wants to rest people, right? Like, I'll take the 5th seed. Like, let's say you get that 2 seed. This is what I like about the format, and people don't think about this. If you want to be battle tested and play and get, have no rust, Dallas had a mini bye this week. They had 2 mini buys in this entire season, and we're forgetting they played 3 games in 12 days?
Yeah.
So they did it twice this season.
Right.
They did, and they're just so exhausted. Probably. So with this mini bye, they'll go out, take care of Washington most likely. And guess what? You're going to end up sitting at home or waiting until Philadelphia gets done. Maybe they lose. Who knows? And you mean to tell me we played our guys and we did better and we won the division? Cool. Oh, what's that? We don't win the division, but we're going on. Okay. It doesn't matter to me anymore. At this point, results need to speak for themselves in the postseason. And interesting tidbit, Mike McCarthy's teams don't usually go in terms of back-to-back years. They don't go one and done in back-to-back years. That's never happened in Mike McCarthy's tenure.
Talk about it.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see if that stays the same or if things change. But that's important. It's definitely important.
Definitely. But you gotta be.
So the only thing that I have concerns about when it comes to resting guys is certain guys need it. I want Micah to have the ability to touch the ball with both hands. I don't necessarily need him with one glove like Tyson out there. So that's one of my only concerns. Yes, I may not want everybody playing sitting completely, but I would want some guys playing like half a game, for example. Or three quarters, and that is to have guys, juiced for that first playoff game. So
I mean, go ahead. B. No, you're right. No, you said you want to have guys doing it. I just harken back to what Zeke said a couple weeks ago. I've been to the playoffs before. I'm ready to go make a run. And I think this is going to be his last chance to make a deep run with this football team into the playoffs. I think it's an opportunity for everybody to kind of showcase what they've been working on and doing certain things. I think if you get a deep playoff run this year, it'll knock off some of the naysayers all across the board with this football team. It's a lot of people right now having people point, can they do it? Dan Quinn's got questions. Can he coach in a big game and do certain things? We're gonna sit in and say, is Rain that guy who can take you, make a mistake, and take you and play flawlessly in these playoffs and knock some of these guys off? The defense has got to show up that, hey, are we just an early season prima donna, or we're one of those ones? So, hey man, we've been brewing to this point, man. This roux has been cooking. This gumbo is almost ready to serve up, man. And I say that all the time because I just want to see this team get into the playoffs and do what we've been expecting them to do. And if it doesn't happen, then we'll be talking about something the week after that, going on after that. But if everything works out the way we want to, man, we got a chance to, to get to the end and get to the ultimate goal. And I'm going to send y'all all your flaming hot chip because y'all going to owe me.
With pleasure, absolutely.
Yeah, y'all going to owe me.
Yeah, man, definitely. Look, you can quarterback that show. I'll gladly eat that chip and eat that crow.
I know that's right. I know that's right. But yeah, man. But like they saying in the chat, yeah, the haters are gonna learn. But I don't want you to change who you are. And if y'all been rocking with us for an hour and 25 minutes, we definitely always love when we can get our boy Space on, and we've been going back and forth. But I want y'all to understand. And I say this all the time, you go and be that, you be the demonstrous, arrogant, talk your junk Cowboy fan, because no matter what it is, man, Brandon said this said this to me a month ago. Embrace being the villain.
Of course.
Enjoy being the villain, enjoy being the cad, dadgummit. I just enjoy it. Embrace it, man. Whoever your favorite villain is, my new favorite villain for the week is Martin Lawrence's character in A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, because he was a villain. You know what I'm saying? When you think about it, because the woman told him time and time again, leave me alone, and he still kept bringing it. He was a villain. Just be the villain, man. Embrace it. Love it. Own it. Because guess what? If we win, we can say what we've always wanted to say. If we lose, they coming for us and saying, they like Space put out a beautiful video, and if you haven't checked them out, go check them out, man. At Space Cowboy Media and the whole nine. Everybody wants to move the goalposts. Well, dadgummit, you go win, you can't move the goalposts because I'm throwing the goalposts in the river. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it's got to be, man. So enjoy being the villain, man.
Yeah, right. And that's it. You gotta listen. We got to go out there, and I like Bane, because Philadelphia want to make a whole Batman. So I don't know why they were making that a thing. Listen, you know what? If they want us to be the villain, by all means, let's go. Break some people's backs, okay? You know what? That's what we have to do, and I think that. And listen, I don't care how it's done. Just win the game. You know what? If we no one's gonna complain that how you won a Super Bowl or how you won an NFC championship. No one's gonna give a damn about that. They're not.
All they're gonna say is you won. That's all they're gonna say.
That's it. You won. That's all they're gonna say is you won, and that's that. What? You know what's gonna happen, guys? What if we reach the NFC championship, which is in a lot of people's minds, and that's the minimum goal for many people. You know what's gonna end up happening? Oh, you guys didn't make it to the Super Bowl. Okay, if we go to the Super Bowl, right? Oh, you guys didn't win it. If they win it, well, they can't take that away from you. They can't take. What are they going to be like? Oh, you played so and so. That doesn't matter, guys. Because you know what's going to happen, and this is what I always stress to people. And I had this conversation with Knicks. I want to have a successful team that can get the chances every so often. Because eventually, it's going to break through. And I know that sounds ridiculous to say to some. Me being super pessimist, but I think the thing that got the Cowboys is that they haven't had enough chances. And so when you expand the amount of chances you have at getting to a Super Bowl or getting to an NFC Championship game, this is why you got a guy in Mike McCarthy. You added a guy in Mike McCarthy because he's experienced. And we're now starting to see a track record because I said year 3 is big. We're going to see where this team's at. And for him to have the chance to improve on last year's record is crazy. If you told me the Cowboys would be at an opportunity to get 13-4, have the same record, I'd be like, okay, especially after Dak Prescott got hurt.
Yeah,
whoa, give me my flowers. Give me my flowers.
Hey, we're gonna give B his flowers. B was the only one holding out hope Me.
And I give him props for I was done,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. And I appreciate Nick's for kind of guiding me onto this road and saying, enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Because no matter how this thing ends, God damn it, we're gonna be going without football for 6 months. If it means we lose in the first round or we go all the way and win this thing, and that'd be amazing. I'm just here along for the ride. And I'm not gonna act like I was like, oh man, I'm so excited, because I know I've seen this team, and I'm glad they're proving me wrong. I want them to prove me wrong again. Prove me wrong that, hey, you know what, you're not gonna lose in the first round, because right now in my mind, that's what's happening to a lot of Cowboys fans. Oh, we're gonna drop the first game, and I think once that changes, we'll be in a much better mindset moving forward.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's
of course, man. Well, anything else, fellas?
Man, that's it, man. Until later on this week, man. Listen, man. Space. Plug your page, man. Loving the logo, loving the everyday 8-9 minutes of my main man, Space Cowboy, man. Let everybody know where we can find you at, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, everybody. If you want to follow me, you can go to Space Cowboy Media on YouTube. We're trying to get to 10K so far. A nice little push to start 2023, and I'm hoping the YouTube algorithm doesn't F me over like it did last year. So definitely, fellas, we have, and I'm definitely going to make sure we do something before these playoffs, because there's a lot to talk about, because you know what? We could be talking about it like, hey, maybe we don't play on Sunday or Saturday. Maybe we don't.
Yeah.
So guys, if you want to follow me over on Space Cowboy Media, that'd be greatly appreciated. Make sure to like, for those that are coming over from my channel, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow these fellas for what they do here, because they do some great stuff.
That's it, man. Wonderful. But you want to go? You want to go? You want me to close?
Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, man, listen, I am just, even though we had the Batman analogy with the Eagles, man, I am the sidekick to Brandon, man. I am set it off, Chris. You can find me at underscore playmaker 88 underscore, man, on Twitter. That's where you're gonna find me. I'm a big game day Twitter guy. I love it, man. But more importantly, man, I've had the opportunity to kick with so many creators in the YouTube spaces, man. So hey, man, I'm just a sidekick, man. I'm just here for the added, get along here with, but I am just half of what we call Frankly Football, man, where coaching matters, man, and we just two guys who love football, and we're going to talk ball as much as we can, man. So we appreciate you coming in. Our biggest thing, man, is always, man, hit the like button, man, because it's free. As my man Nick says, it's free 99. It don't cost you nothing, man. Share it and put it out there in the algorithm, man, so some more people can come and say, well, man, I like that dude's beard. Yo, Brandon's waves are crispy. Yo, man, they got a couple of nice points there, man. I would love to be able to do that, man, but always kick it with us, man, whenever you can. We got to be more consistent. That's the one thing in 23 we are definitely going to do. Be more daily, be more consistent, man, so you can see our ugly mugs out here talking about this football team that we love, man. Go ahead and close it out, B.
All right, so like Chris said, we are together, Frankly Football, and if you haven't already, subscribe to us. Like us on Twitter at Frankly Football. That is FranklyFootball 1. And of course, like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, peace.
Peace.